Getting ready to take a trip to my local mom and pop store for a game they're holding for me. And I thought I'd talk about my collecting and why I enjoy it so much. Let me get this thing started. Alright, so I'm off. I'm going to do a little vlog about game collecting and why I'm excited about doing it, especially for the 7th gen. I was just down at my dimple store yesterday. Hold the camera here. I'm driving with my bad left hand. I badly crushed my middle 2 fingers of my left hand. Just turned around so I can see here. And it's pretty painful to drive, or I can't even hold a controller right now. It feels a little bit better today. Some people following me on Twitter and Facebook know what happened, but had an accident with my hand and trying to get to heal and get back to normal. I've been very sick for weeks and weeks now. I'm going to do a separate vlog getting into that. This is not the time or place for it, but a lot of very interesting things have happened. Terrible things, but you know, there's a silver lining and a positive end to the story, so it's not all bad, and I'll share that soon. But today is about collecting and why I enjoy it so much. You have to excuse my voice. My lungs are really bad. I've had this pneumonia problem. It's kind of had a relapse with it because I've been so sick and under a lot of stress lately. So I'm going to try to do my best to convey this. You have to pardon me clearing my throat constantly, and it's a hassle. But you know, back in 2012 when I started this channel, you know, I had pretty much right before then I had given up. I had given up on game collecting. At that point, I had gotten rid of a lot of games as I'd get new ones. I was kind of into what was new. You know, I certainly got rid of my PS2 and original Xbox, and which I realized was a huge mistake. And so basically, I've been trying to rectify that problem since 2012. Been going back and rebuying systems, many beloved games that I had and collected. And it's been something that I've been really trying to focus on, and I was surprised it's taken me years to get back what I had that I bought new and paid full price for, and then as soon as I was done playing them, I gave them away, or to, you know, family, usually to my nephews, or I trade them in my local dimples towards other games. And now I kind of regret that. In fact, I know I regret it. And I find a lot of friends of mine, even just recently, are just now realizing, I knew this was going to happen. The minute I saw 2013, the new Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 came out, I saw everyone rounding up all their PS3 games and their PlayStation 3s and taking them into GameStop and trading them in. Some of them were able to literally buy a PS4 or an Xbox One with virtually no money down, or very little, because they traded so many games in and systems. And I'm like, God, don't do it. Don't make the mistake I made. So I kind of realized that before the new Xbox One and PS4 came out, I had already kind of made a choice that, you know what, I'm never going to do this again. And when I started my own channel, I realized that one of the reasons for doing the channel was to talk about the games that I've grown up with, that I love, that I wish that I had never had sold. And so many of us have done it. And I thank God I learned the lesson when I did, and that I've been seriously looking at trying to get back and you know, find and commit to getting all those games that I got rid of. And what's funny is a lot of people just now, I knew it would take time. Give it a few years, 3, 4, 5 years, all of a sudden people have played all the new Xbox One games and PS4 games and PC games, and they're going to go, you know what? God, you know, I really miss that Red Dead Redemption. You know, I really miss MotorStorm Pacific Rift, MotorStorm Apocalypse, you know, in 1080p and even 3D support for those that are fortunate enough to have a 3D TV. And there's so many great games, the Resistance series in the PlayStation 3. the Killzone. I just watched a really nice retrospective on Killzone 2, and it brought back so many memories. I love Killzone 2. It's such a great game. I haven't played the first one, but I do have the Killzone trilogy, and I certainly could play them. And I'm finding friends of mine, my friend Blaze and Solid Rev, just a couple friends immediately that come to mind, and I've got many others that are just now realizing, God, I miss those games. And I saw this coming back in 2012. I said, right now they're into what's new, but give it time, and eventually they're going to be bored with all the new shit, and they're going to realize how lackluster a lot of the new innovations and some of the newer gaming is, although there's many advancements that I really do approve of and enjoy. There's a lot to it that aren't that great. And I'm about to jump on the freeway here. And they're going to really regret that. They're going to really miss those old games. And they're going to want to, get them back. Hopefully they'll still be available and they'll be cheap enough. Now, back then in 2012, man, you could get anything. A lot of games that were relatively hard to find were tough, very tough to get. And here's a little freeway shot of getting on the on-ramp here. This thing rails. It's really been nice to get behind the wheel again and to get some driving in. I've missed driving this thing. It's been sitting in the garage for weeks. I detailed it a week ago. I finally felt up for the first time in weeks to get out and get some fresh air and wash my car. And I detailed my wife's car and this thing, but I never drove it. It's been sitting. It hurts my back to drive it. I can drive it like to the game store and back is fine without pain pills. I'm really not to take the pain meds while I'm driving. It's a violation. So yeah, I have to be careful with that. But I will say that it's been fun getting out of the house. I went out yesterday for the first time in a while and went down to my local Dimple store, which I'm heading to right now. Of course, I didn't realize they had this enormous vinyl record sale, and there was an absolute mob scene. I drove up and the parking lot was completely full. I had to park out back where they're parking. There's some extra spots. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? People lined up inside and out. They had some giant record sale on vinyl records, and it was just a mob scene. So I quickly did a cursory of just like half of the Xbox 360 games. I quickly found two games I've been looking for some time, Lost Planet 1 and 2. One of them was $3, the other was $7. I got them both in mint condition and complete for $10 for both of them. Now that's the kind of deals that I like, really, and I hold out for good deals. And right now I can't be spending a lot of money on games. It's going to be a while before I can buy any new games. I may not even be able to get Red Dead Redemption 2. I got hit financially. I've lost about 15 grand, which I'll get into in another vlog. I got hit really hard by a criminal, basically screwed us. And so now it's going to take me 6 months to fix the financial damage. And so, and a lot of my goals for things I want to get for this car that I had planned for my Mad Max RT thing, I was going to do some mods in the car. That's gone now. It's not going to happen. I've got friends, Dean, you got to get the Xbox One X. You got to get the Xbox One X. Or the PlayStation VR, and believe me, I want to get both of them, but that's going to be probably not a thing now. That's not going to happen, which is unfortunate. I'm really bummed out about that. I may have to radically alter my plan. So what I'm going to try to do is just focus on just the retro games at this point. That's really all I can do. Because I can afford those games at $5, $10, stuff like that. I can afford. This thing lights them up so easy. And so I'm going to just do that. I think instead of, because for what a new game costs, I can buy probably 6 to 10. Really good deals on retro games at $3 a piece or $6 each or something like that. So. And before the prices go up anymore, and I urge you, this is a great time to get in, especially with the 7th gen and 6th gen if you can. If you can afford it, think of the games you really want. Start off with like 10 to 20 games that you're really committed to having, and at least go out and get those while you still can. Now, some of the games, like the Halo games and Gears of War, they made so many of them, they were so popular, that you can get them dirt cheap, you know, $3.99, $5, $6, $7. They're really affordable and not too bad. But I'm finding a lot of games like, you know, Midway Pacific, Battle Stations Midway and Battle Stations Pacific, some of those games are getting up, you know, $20, $30, $40 now that were dirt cheap just a few years ago. They're getting harder to find. And I'm seeing that just in the last year to year and a half, games are going up in price that were dirt cheap before, and games that I used to find readily, like Naval Assault, the submarine game for the Xbox 360, I can't find it anywhere. I cannot find the game anywhere. I don't know what the hell's going on. I used to see it all the time. And none of my Dimple stores have it. I've got them on a locator where if one comes in, I'll be the first to get it. But my God, it's a nice Charger over there. It's like 2014. It's my favorite spot right here, right on the end. And it's getting hard to find these games. It's getting very hard to find them. So I'm going to run in real quick. I'm going to be right out. They're holding a game for me, and I'll talk about that and the rest of this on the way back. So there's my Dimple store, is right over there. They just opened about a half an hour ago. I'm going to go inside and pick up a game, maybe do a quick cursory and look a little bit while I'm in there. So I'll be back soon, and I'm going to talk more about this. Hold on, guys. So I'm back. I've got my Dimples bag. I found a really good game I've been looking for some time. Unfortunately, I had to get it for the PlayStation 3 as it wasn't available. Let me set this up here for a minute. I gotta get my seatbelt on. As it wasn't available for the Xbox 360, at least locally. I mean, I can go on eBay and probably find all these, but you pay more money. So I got, finally, Aliens vs. Predator. Now, I got the PlayStation 3 version, because I cannot find this to save my life. And again, this was one that you used to see all the time, but I can't find it. It's clean and complete. It's in like brand new condition. Has the manual. Decent price on it. That's not bad. I mean, I don't mind paying, you know, 12, 13, 15 bucks. To me is a good deal. And I got Over G Fighters. This is one it's hard to find. I've had a hard time finding this. I got this for, what was it, $12.99. Clean and complete. I mean, immaculate condition, not a scratch on it. So that's a prime example. Today was a good day. And again, I just got, you know, yesterday I finally found those Lost Planet 1 and 2, which are fantastic. God, it's hot as a fuck in here. Get my hair going. So that's a prime example. Some nice Mopars here. There's a 2014 Charger, and then there's one of the newer SRT Chargers. Really nice. Very cool. So, turn this around again. Try to pull out of here. Going the wrong way on the steel. It's a pain. The problem with parking there is that you're forced to go out the wrong way. Oh, God, I gotta get this air going. I'm dying. Shit. Jump out here real quick. Jump on the freeway real quick. So this was a good day. I found two good games that I'm looking for, and that's kind of what I do. I can't spend too much. I actually put back, I had Bionic Commando for the Xbox 360, it's kind of the reboot of it, which I really want. They had that there for about 13 bucks. They also had Ridge Racer 7 on the PS3, which I wanted for about the same price, but I had to put them back. I just can't afford to buy that many games. That's a good example. I mean, I have to kind of pick and choose. I can spend a few bucks. I can spend, you know, $20 or $30 for a few new games this weekend. Once I get paid on my next job, then I can, you know, I'll go out and I'll buy another couple games. So that way I don't feel too bad. This thing rails. So I don't feel too bad spending a couple bucks. You know, I spent a couple dollars of premium gas just to go a couple miles down the freeway. It's not too far from home. And I certainly don't mind taking a little trip. You know, right now I need to get a new, you know, a SD card from my GoPro camera for the 64, you know, what's it, I guess gigabyte one. It's, you know, close to 40, 50 bucks. So I'm going to have to hold off on that. I mean, I'd love to get that so I can start filming my reviews. I had someone that was very kind enough to donate a camera, but there's no SD card. So, you know, it's not that much money, but right now I got to watch the money that I spend. So what I do is I'd rather spend it on getting a rare DVD I come across, or maybe a video game that I'm looking for. If I can chip away at my collection just a little bit this weekend, you know, and then maybe another week or two from now, get another couple games, and I'm so close. I went through my list this morning on my desk, and my God, I'm not that far off from wrapping my 7th gen collection up. That's not to say that I won't discover new games that I can play. Excuse my lungs are just blown out. I'm just now getting my voice back. I've tried to do a vlog the last week and a half or so, and I just can't. My voice has been so hoarse, and this is the first day or so that it's come back to where I can speak. So right now, it's exciting knowing that my collection's close. And one of the reasons why I'm making this video is to urge you, if you have any love or fond memories of the 7th gen and the 6th gen, my God, you got to get them now while you can, because they're getting harder to find. Even their Xbox collection at the Roseville store, which I just went to, has been picked over pretty good. There really was not anything there that I wanted, and I looked. So it's, you know, a couple years ago there would have been 5 or 6 games I would have grabbed and came out of there with, but now there's some of the other stores, like the Citrus Site store, have like almost twice as many original Xbox games. So, you know, certain days I'll go there. I just kind of randomly go out. What's nice is that you can either call them or just go up to the counter and say, look, I'm looking for Ridge Racer Rebound. You know, do you have any copies of it? And they'll say, well, no, we don't, but our Folsom store does. And I'll say, okay, good. Well, can you have them send it to the Roseville store? And they will. So if any of the other stores have it, their computer network will show it. And they can ship it to you, wait a couple days, and, you know, it magically arrives. And everything works out. And that's kind of my rule of thumb, is that I'll look, like right now I called last night and I was looking for the game Inversion, which a couple of friends of mine have shown ironically lately, and I used to see that game everywhere. None of the stores have it. It's out of print, and they said, well, right now, you know, we don't have any, but if one comes in, we'll put you on our locator. So I'm on a locator. God, this guy could have made this light. I'm on a locator right now to where if any of them comes into any of the stores, the downtown one or the Citrus, you know, Heights or Folsom, whatever, they'll call me immediately and say, look, we have your game. We'll ship it to whatever store you want. We'll ship it to my Roseville store. It's the closest one. And it's a beautiful thing. You wait a few days and it magically shows up. And quite often they're cheap. They're, you know, $6, $7, $13. Well, I called last night. They had a couple games I'm looking for. One of them was Ridge Racer 6, which the Folsom store had. So they connected me to the Folsom store. I confirmed that they had it, and the manual was there, and the disc was in good shape. And then I said, oh, great, can you go ahead and ship it to the Roseville store? So that's going to be shipped over. That's one of really the last 2 Xbox 360 racing games I want left. The other one's this Import Tuner Challenge, which I can't find it to save my life. I've looked everywhere for it. Now, I can obviously go on eBay and pay up the ass for it, and probably will pay $30-40 or who knows what. They're going up, and if it's on eBay, you're going to pay top dollar typically, because I do the buy it nows. I don't like to screw with the bidding. The bidding thing gets out of control. People will try to snipe you at the last minute. I've got a pretty foolproof way of sniping at the end myself, but I don't like to do that. That's an absolute last resort. Then I have to have my wife do that in the PayPal. Oh God, you're gonna get another game. She gives me the riot act for getting games that I don't play or whatever, and I'd rather not hear it. So for me, I just as soon just wait. I'll wait 2 years for it and get it locally. What I'll probably do is at the very end, when I have some money under my belt, I'll probably have my wife get 2 or 3 games and maybe a strategy guide or 2 on eBay for me. Maybe this summer after I've had a couple good months under my belt. And I usually will do that a couple times a year, 2 or 3 times a year. I'll go on eBay and I'll have her get a couple items, usually strategy guides, because I have a hard time finding those, and none of the gaming stores even sell them anymore, the old ones. So, or rare games that I can't get. But my God, now is the time to get in while you can. You can still get great deals, on Xbox 360s, PlayStation 3s, Wii's, even original Xboxes. There's some really good deals and good prices that are affordable. In fact, I'm looking for, if I can afford it this year, I'm going to really try to do it because I'm worried about the prices going up. My holy grail for consoles is I already have, I gave my brand new backup Xbox 360e to Solid Rev, so he wanted a new one, and I go, well, I've got a new one. I don't necessarily have to have a backup that's new, and I'd rather see him happy with it, and he assured me he's not going to get rid of it, and he'll hang on to it, so that way he can play the Xbox 360 games that he can't play on, the backwards compatible Xbox One or Xbox One X or whatever. Excuse me, but I need a backup one. So what my holy grail is I've always wanted, I'm going to try to find as close to new as possible, or with very few miles, one of the Star Wars, slim models. I think it's the S model or whatever, slim, that has a 320 gigabyte hard drive. That looks like R2-D2 with the C-3PO gold controller. I've always wanted one of those. So that will be not only my backup, but it will be a nice collectible console that I can have on display. I would like to get one more PlayStation 3. Now, the one I have is in very good shape with very few miles. I've only played a few games all the way through on it. It's literally like a brand new, barely used. I've played a lot of Twisted Metal and MotorStorm, Killzone 2, stuff like that. That's pretty much it. The thing is like fucking brand new. And I'm real excited about that it's in good shape, that it will probably last me a long time. So I'd like to get one more of those kind of 2011-12 slim models if possible. Or possibly, I'm still talking. Some people say don't do it, but I kind of would like to have one of the 500 gigabyte, the latest super slims or whatever they are, that have the manual sliding tray. There's less moving parts to break. I kind of like that aspect, appeals to me of it. As crummy as it looks in some respects, I think that would be kind of a nice investment. So I'm going to try to do that this year. At least get those 2 consoles if I can. I wanted to get the PlayStation VR so bad, and it's probably going to have to wait another year. I'm really bummed out because what that would cost, and the same with the Xbox One X, I could basically wrap up my collection. So I have to look at what all that shit cost and keep that in mind. I took a huge loss, an enormous financial loss at this first quarter of the year, and it's going to take me 6 months or more just to make that up. I even had to cut into my savings, which I did not like doing, and it's unfortunate. So I'm going to have to I'm home now. Put this thing back in the garage here. It's my Hemi war rig parked up front. Get my little button deal here, and I'll take this inside and continue this conversation in just a minute here, guys. So now I'm back in the game room. I thought I'd wrap up my little video thing here. So, I show it again here. I got this Over G Fighters. I've been looking for it. It's a really good flight sim. Very realistic. Kind of like the Ace Combat series, but for the 360. It's one I've wanted for the longest time, and I rarely come across it. I saw it yesterday, and I forgot to pick it up because that record store, I was so flustered with the mob scene in there. And I just got this Alien versus Predator. God, I wanted this in the worst way. Again, all complete with a manual. I would have preferred having it for the 360, but I'm not going to split hairs. Like, I got Fuel, recently, you know, I wanted Fuel and Nailed were two examples. Both of these I wanted for the 360. I couldn't find them, so I got the, you know, the PlayStation 3 versions, which are fine. Now, what's funny is the older, if you see these older labels, the old original PlayStation 3, if you see these labels, they typically don't perform as good. Not all of them, but in some cases they don't perform as good as the Xbox 360 versions. Although I find that the newer PlayStation 3, where it has a band across the top, they tend to run pretty much on par with the Xbox 360, in a few cases even better. So that's just something to keep in mind when collecting for them. Some of those older labels don't always perform as good as the 360 ones. But needless to say, very happy to have this, you know. And who knows, maybe I'll come across the 360 version and maybe I'll buy that one too. We'll see. But it's not the end of the world. I'm not real hung up on it. Recently, I just got this. I've been wanting this for the longest time. I finally came across this and bought this. Got it for like $5. Really cheap, in mint condition, you know, with a nice manual, a nice Ferrari licensed game. It's one of the last racing games for the 7th gen I've been going after. And then, of all the things, I found a brand new factory sealed Ferrari Racing Legends, which I just ironically saw today for the PlayStation 3. Fairly affordable, but this game is expensive. This was a $49.99 factory seal game, $50. And I was prepared to pay it. I went down there, and the day I went in, they lowered the price down to like $27.99. So I got it for 40% off, and it was brand new. I mean, new. It even had the plastic stickers. You know, I took all the stickers off, and inside, on the outside of the packaging, which is rare, usually it's on the inside, if I can find it here, they had an official licensed Ferrari sticker, which was actually on the cellophane. So this was a treat. Now some people, oh God, don't take it, don't remove it, it's factory sealed, you know. To me, I'm not hung up, I'll rip the sealing off. I did cut this out to save it, put it inside the manual here. But this is a game I've wanted for the longest time. I'm so happy to have this in the collection. This was like a holy grail for me, and to find it brand new, factory seal, was just kind of a treat. And I don't mind. This is one that I don't mind spending close to $30 for. I spent, you know, basically $28, $27.99 for this, and I'm happy to have it in the collection. Would I have preferred getting it for $12 or $5? Well, certainly, but sometimes you got to pick and choose, and when you know a game is hard as hell to get, you got to say, you know what, I'll just get it, because who knows, this could be more, $60 on eBay, or more, who knows. I don't know. And then yesterday I got Lost Planet 1 and 2 in mint condition, both for $10 with the manuals. Excellent condition. Really happy to have both of these in my collection. It's a real treat. So I'm so close now. I've gotten, in fact, I watched, my friend Adrian did a really nice retrospective on Halo 1, 2, 3, and 4. And even though I wasn't a huge fan of Halo, I'm going to add the Halo games. At least the first 4 of them I'm going to buy for the original Xbox as well as the 360. I think they got a Master Chief Collection too, maybe down the road if I ever get an Xbox One I can get that as well. But I'm just happy to have that. I think there's even you can get the first Halo in like a remastered Xbox 360 version or something. So I'll probably add that to my list, but my list is getting there. I only have maybe 20-something games left for the 7th gen, and that's it. I'm so close, I can taste it. The 6th gen, I've got maybe more, maybe double that, maybe 30 to 40 games. And I'm taking a hard look at those. I'm making a master list. I'm putting like little asterisks by each game I'm really committed to getting. The other ones, if I don't get them, it's not the end of the world. So kind of prioritize your list. Start off with like 20 games. If you want to go back and get a 7th gen, try to find them. There's really good deals on Xbox, used Xbox 360s. I try to avoid getting them at GameStop. I prefer like the local mom and pop stores. They usually clean them. They usually will have better condition units. And I've seen some very clean PlayStation 3s and Xbox 360s that you can get. So now is the time. Now is the time. There's so many games. I'm planning on doing a video soon where I'm going to talk about kind of like going back in time and my favorite experiences with the PlayStation 1 and the Commodore and the PS2. Well, I want to do another one of those where I'm going to be discussing, my favorite experiences for the original Xbox. I've got the games, you can see I've already got them ready to talk about, and the Xbox 360. because they're both fantastic systems. You can still get great games. You can still get great deals on working consoles. Yes, technically, because they're disc-based and there's lots of moving parts, down the road there could be failure with the hardware. That's why I say get backup units. I've got 3 original Xboxes. One, my friend Clint went through and put a brand new clock capacitor and a new 500 gig hard drive and a brand new Samsung DVD drive. So it's like a brand new one, which just ensures the life of my games, and I can play, you know, my UK Miami Vice and stuff on it. It's a very cool thing. And you can even get deals in those. You can buy those in pretty good shape. People will sell them for about $175 to 200 and some odd bucks for like a really nice modded Xbox, you know, which you can even install tons of games, and, you know, that way you can actually get rid of the disc. You can install the games in the hard drive. They're permanently in there. It's a beautiful thing. So that's my my little spiel on getting these. It's such a wonderful time to collect for the 7th gen. I get so excited. It's almost as fun as gaming right now. With my left hand is pretty banged up. The swelling has gone down. I had to take my wedding ring off because my finger was getting purple, almost black. I was afraid I was going to have it amputated. I crushed it really bad. So I think tonight I could probably game. Even driving with my left hand, I had to be real careful how I used pretty much my thumb and index finger to drive, but it's doable. So I'm hoping maybe tonight I can finally get some gaming in. I haven't gamed in about 3 weeks, and I'm going to get into that in another vlog. This is a great time to collect. It's one of those things where, and I told my friend Cameron of Industrial Gamer back a few years ago, in fact he just did a video I've yet to watch. He did his PlayStation 3 collection video. It's over an hour long. I'm anxious to sit down maybe this weekend and get through it. And he was just a couple years ago, he was going to get rid of his whole collection, just focus on the latest gen, you know, the 8th gen. I said, God, Cameron, don't do it. You're going to regret it. Well, thankfully he took my advice and he hung on to the consoles and the games, and now he's glad that he did. He feels so glad. I wish I had had the same wisdom early on. You know, many of us made the same mistake, so I'm just as guilty as the next guy. But learn from the mistakes of, you know, people like me and others, and go through and try to find these consoles while you can, and just start off with like your 20 favorite games, and then just go from there. And as you come across them, it's fun to collect. It's so exciting when you go in and you see games that you've been looking for. It's like, wow, there it is, you know. So I put back the other 2 games I had so I could get this one. And it's just fun. Now I'm excited. Now I can finally play this. I've always wanted to play this. I love Rebellion, one of my favorite developers. I've heard so many good things about this, even though I'm not a big fan of the film series where they combine the aliens and the predators, but this game will be fun. You can play as, you know, the aliens, the colonial marines, or the predators. Very cool. Good concept. Great graphics. I like the environments. And you'll find that the graphics on these older games still look good. They hold up quite well. You know, I mean, you get games like, I got this Killzone trilogy. My God, Killzone 2 and 3 look unbelievable. They still look spectacular. I can even play, I think, Killzone 2 and 3 in 3D. I don't think I can play the first one, but I can play them in 3D, which is so cool. I got a 3D TV in with the active 3D Samsung glasses. So, and I've yet to try that. I want to play the MotorStorm. In fact, you can even get MotorStorm Pacific Rift. You can digitally buy it in 3D in the PlayStation Store. So that's what's great, is that Microsoft and Sony still are supporting the Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation Store for PS3 games. You can still get tons of PlayStation 1 and 2 games for the PlayStation 3, or even PlayStation 2 games. There's a whole, you go into a search on the PlayStation Store on the PS4 and excuse me, look at PlayStation 2 games. They'll have a whole array, tons of Rockstar games, THQ Nordic games, you know, Destroy All Humans 1 and 2, Red Faction 1 and 2, you know, Bully and Manhunt, and, you know, GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. You can get all of those remastered HD, widescreen, trophy support, and you can buy them digitally. So, and the same thing with the Xbox 360. Now, a lot of games like Wolfenstein from 2009, I mean, you can't even get that on Steam anymore. The game is getting hard. I actually saw a copy of that yesterday at my local Dimple store for 13 bucks. And they had a PS3 version as well. So it's the only way you can play it. You can't even play those on the PC anymore unless you have one of the old original boxes that you bought years ago. So, Red Dead Redemption, of course, now they've got, you can buy it digitally for the Xbox One, but it's still great. It still looks and plays amazing on the Xbox 360. These are games that are iconic games. And as we've played, been there, done that with all the latest games. I mean, I love, my Mad Max and Fallout 4 and Far Cry 4, and I've yet to play the new Far Cry, which I'm hoping to start this weekend. But my God, I mean, there's not a whole lot coming out for the new gens, anymore. It's like, for me, there's, I can count on one hand how many great games, a year that I'm even interested in, or less. So, where I've got virtually, dozens and dozens or hundreds of games for the 7th gen and 6th gen that I do enjoy, that I really miss. And just knowing that you can revisit them, just knowing you can plug an HDMI cable into your PlayStation 3, excuse me, or your Xbox 360 is very exciting indeed. And so, like I said, guys, now's the time. Get them while they're affordable. You can go nuts and you can just pick up anything that comes to mind that appeals to you, but make that list. And when you have an actual list and you go and you see things that are on your list and, God, this is doable. It's only $7 or $12.99 or something. It's exciting. It's very affordable. Will it be affordable a couple of years from now? Who knows? Who knows? Something could happen in pop culture. They make a movie and they show people playing, 7th gen consoles, and all of a sudden those games and consoles could go up overnight in price. I guess this Ready Player One showed some old Atari system, and now the games in that system have quadrupled in price just because of something that's in pop culture. So you never know. Better safe now. Get in while you still can. And every time, the big YouTubers, I'm a little guy, but guys like, Metal Jesus, make a hidden gems video with Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3 or original Xbox games, my God, a lot of those games really go up in price. And of course, there's always those, scalpers gouging people on eBay with them or what have you, or Amazon, but they're still out there. You can even get deals at GameStop. GameStop, quite often they're missing the original boxers or the manuals or the discs are scratched up. That's kind of a last resort for me, but I still go by and check. Usually once a month or every other month I'll go through there and I'll look and you'll find get 3 good games for $10 or something. And I've got a lot of good deals. I got, Mass Effect Trilogy, and I got the Tomb Raider Trilogy really cheap for less than $20 each at one of those GameStops, and they were literally brand new, not a scratch on them, no fingerprints, nothing. So you can still get good deals. We're very fortunate here. We have the original Tower Records, which is an iconic California record, music, video, gaming store. Is gone now. In fact, the owner just recently passed away that started Tower Records, but it originated out of Sacramento, and now they've changed the name to Dimples, and so they still have them, and thank God. So we've got those 6 locations here, plus we've got at least another 2 or 3 great retro stores that I know of in town here, so we're very blessed. We're very fortunate to have that here, and that's why I've offered my friends, look, if you can't find something, let me know. I can probably find it and send it to you. We're really fortunate to have these stores here, and even at my Dimple store, like I said, some of these games are just like Naval Assault, that submarine game. I haven't seen that game in probably 2 years. I used to see it all the time. Now it's getting hard. That game Inversion I don't see anymore. Like I said, the battle stations Midway and Pacific, rarely come across those anymore, and their prices are going up. So now's the time to get them. So anyway, it's nice to be back in front of the camera. I look like crap. I feel like shit, but I wanted to make a video today. My wife's been out of town for a couple days, for about a week, so I've been here with little Vinny, just kind of holding the fort down and watching YouTube videos, trying to catch up on, stuff around the house and projects, and taking a little bit of time off. And I wanted to at least get a video out this weekend. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I've got so many great vlogs and things planned. I got 2 video responses planned. I've got, God, at least a half a dozen killer vlogs planned real soon, and I'm going to be doing that original Xbox and Xbox 360, kind of like my favorite memories on those 2 systems coming up next. So thanks so much for watching, guys. No matter what they are, enjoy your gaming and your collections. Thanks.